Three, two, one.
Welcome to Open Space Conversations. This radio program is brought to you by Global Mission Fellows,
a community dedicated to amplifying the voices and stories of diverse communities around the world.
We will be diving into important social justice issues of our time, exploring the ways that they intersect with beliefs, science, technology, and the environment.
Aiming to open spaces to have conversations about critical issues that are shaping our world today and working toward solutions to create a more equitable and just world for all.
From climate change, education, gender justice, health, and food security. In this space, you're welcome. In this conversation, your voice is heard.
Tune in to our special episodes Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Hello, friends.
Through podcast version of CEPALC Encuentro Radio.
Hello, fellows, friends, and families around the world. I'm really glad to welcome you to this program called Open Space Conversations, which is coming back after a recess of more than 1 year, organized by Global Mission Fellows from the United Methodist Church, cohort 2025 to 2027. My name is Nataly, and I'll be hosting this show alongside Hannah Reasoner from the headquarters of CEPALC here in Bogota, Colombia. Hannah, tell us a little bit more about how this program was born.
Hello, Nataly. Hello, guests and audiences from all over the world. So I was also a Global Mission Fellow serving here in CEPALC in the class of 2017 to 2019. And this particular program here, Open Space Conversations, is thanks to another Global Mission Fellow, Abigail Chesca Bolado. She was part of the, I believe, 2021 to 23 class. And she was able to organize some of her cohort to make a radio program, to be able to connect with each other from all over the world, to talk about some of the work that they're doing, some of their experiences, some of the different social justice issues that they saw and that they were working in, and share some of their ministries. And so I'm very excited that we have now another generation of this program that has kind of changed and evolved over time with the different classes, because you all bring your own personalities and experience to it. And so we're very excited that Nataly is here to be our organizer, to reconnect us with the Global Mission Fellows here on Encuentro Radio. Encuentro Radio is the digital radio station for CEPALC, where we both serve now. And we are glad to kick this new season of the program off with a conversation between some more Global Mission Fellows serving around the world, Simon and Tamira, or Sunshine. I think that's a wonderful name. Welcome, both of you, to our program.
So please, Simon, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Simon Siabamba. I'm a citizen of Zambia, which is in the southern part of Africa. But currently, I'm based in Antigua and Barbuda, where I serve at the Methodist Church in the Caribbean and the Americas mainly, and the God Center part-time, which is an organization which teaches young people skills to better themselves. My work focuses on media, marketing, and communications, and community engagement using storytelling as a tool for advocacy, education, and social impact. Through my role, I support initiatives in youth development, skills training, community outreach, and public awareness, helping amplify voices, document real-life stories, and promote inclusive development across communities. My mission context is centered on using media and communication to strengthen community connection, inspire positive change, and support transformative social programs.
Perfect. Wonderful to hear that. So, Tamira, could you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Tamira Nunes, but I also go by the name of Sunshine. I am a Global Mission Fellow serving in London, but I'm originally from Belize. And my role here is that I work with children, young adults, and work alongside refugees as well. And my role is to basically be a part of the community, hear the children and young adults' voices, and allow them to know that they have a sense of belonging here. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. So it's wonderful to have you here in in our very first program of this season. So as Hannah mentioned earlier, this program has evolved over the years. So in this new season, we're trying a more like a conversational interview format. So today, our two guests will talk with each other about their current work as a global mission fellow. So Simon, you can start with your answer, your questions.
Yeah, so Sunshine and I and Natalie, we met in Ghana for the commissioning, but we never actually spoke on the details and context of our POAs and our job descriptions. So, Sunshine, I'd say, can you share a little bit about yourself, your background, and what led you to work with the children and the adults in your mission field?
So my name is Tamara Nunes. Like I said before, my ethnicity is Garifuna and I am a Belizean. And I grew up in a small village called Liberdad where community is very important. And one of my favorite saying that describe where I come from is that it takes a village to raise a child. You know, in my community, everyone looks out for each other. Children are cared for not only by their parents, but also neighbors, relatives, and also church members. And the environment that I'm in is what shaped me into the person that I am today and gave me the heart of serving others, you know. What exactly led me to work with children is the joy they bring. I love seeing children smile, laugh, and have fun, and I enjoy being a part of those moments as well. And I also love creating safe environment and welcoming spaces where they can learn about God and feel value and love as well. You know, working with young adults is meaningful to me because one, I am a young adult myself and I can relate to many of the challenges, questions, and expression they also face, you know. And I also want to walk alongside them, encouraging them in faith and help them build a strong sense of community and belonging, you know. Whenever missionary used to visit my community, I was always willing to help and with vacation Bible school and any activities they organize. And honestly, becoming a missionary was never something that I planned for myself, but the moment I surrendered my life to God, He opened the door for me to work for Him. And honestly, that was the best thing I could have ever done. So that is what called me to become a missionary and serve children and young adults.
Okay, so the love that you received from your community hopefully impacted your mission today. Yeah, that's good. I like that. So, could you please tell us a day in the life where at your place of assignment?
So where I'm at Wesley Chapel in London, and the young adults here we meet every month since of their work schedule. We're only able to meet once a month, but for the time that we meet, we would engage with each other, hear about their story, go through Bible study together, dissect the Bible together, you know, and come to a better understanding of what God has been saying and how we can live out our life in the best way possible when it comes to our faith life. And but apart from that, on days I usually work with sisterhood on Mondays, boys and girls brigade on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, I do stay and play with younger children from 5 years under. They come in with their parents. We set up areas for them to come in and play. On Thursdays, I do refugees as well, and that's basically my day. Apart from that, I also work in my offices, planning ideas, you know, coming with content when it comes to what best work for my young adults and allowing them to engage and build as a community. So that's what I basically do.
Yeah, it sounds very busy and impactful. So, what would you say are the significant challenges that you face working with children and young adults in your context, knowing that these are the most challenging years for young people?
Yeah, that's true. One challenges that I face is working with children is to being careful when it comes to sharing what I do with others without showing their faces, due to protecting their privacy and follow safeguarding rules as well. And one of the challenge that I have with young adults is building the group. The majority of our congregation are older people, so we don't see a lot of young people in the church, which is my role is to be able to build the young adults group and bring them closer to God and build the congregation and our young adults group. So it's very very challenging when it comes to the outreach and building relationship, so that they can feel welcome and encouraged to join. So that is a challenge that I have on my end, but I'm working on it as I go on.
Okay, so how do you see your work impacting the lives of the young people where you serve?
I see my work impacting the lives of young adults by sharing my testimony with them, listening to their stories, and reminding them that community matters. Many young people need someone who will simply be present, care for them, and walk alongside in their faith journey. And by building relationship, offering environment, and creating spaces where they can be themselves, I hope they feel seen in my presence. I hope they feel supported by me, and my prayer is that through our time together they grow closer to God, build meaningful friendship, and discover their purpose, and be a part of the change of the world today. So yeah.
Okay, makes sense. And how can the listeners on the show right now support and get involved with the support or support your mission through the advance number? By the way, the advance number is the number that us Global Mission Fellows use so that we can directly receive donations from everybody that feels compelled to help our mission. So, like I said, how can listeners support, get involved, or support your mission through your work using the advance number?
Yeah, so everyone can support me by supporting our cohort in a whole. You can encourage us by praying for us, sending us message of encouragement, or even donating to our fundraising drive that we have going on. My advance number is 30222853, and you can support us when it comes to our fundraising Facebook page, which is supporting global missionaries 2025 2027. And you can also support me by following my personal journey as well, either on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is Sunshine Eunice, and you can see how I go about doing my work as a missionary there. But your support is what is keeping us going when it comes to our missionary work, and it do means a lot. It don't have to be a lot. Anything will work. Either it's just prayer, an encouraging message, or you just donating to our fundraising. So yeah, that's how you can support me and my cohort. Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. It's good to hear from you looking at the fact that despite doing our training,
Yeah.
our cohort training in Ghana, we didn't exactly have time to organize and talk about each other and everything that we're focusing on in our POAs. We're just getting to know each other, looking at it that it was a week. So it
Yeah.
wasn't much it wasn't much to cover in that time. It was quite kind of too fast. But it's interesting to hear of your point of view and everything that you're doing right now at your POA.
Yeah. Same. It was nice catching up too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
So
Sunshine, and thank you, Simon, for this conversation. I have another question I'd like to ask because I know that all of you are still kind of in the beginning phase of your service. And so, what have been some of uh, the adjustments? So, how has it been going? Because leaving your home country and going to a completely different context and serving in mission is not easy. I'm talking from experience. So, how has that been going for you?
So adjusting is a challenge itself, you know. Sometimes you go through these phases where you don't have much explanation as to why you're going through what you're going through, and it just shows that you need to have faith and trust in God, and that this change is going to grow, allow you to grow. And challenges that I faced was the culture shock that I experienced here in London. You know, one of my culture shock was how the community, it lacks unity, because when walking down this road and people are literally not talking with one another, they're in their device, you know. No one is smiling while walking, which was a challenge for me because I come from a community where we are united. Whether we go outside, we find friends to talk with, and we build relationship as we go on. So that was something challenging for me to adapt to. And also the weather is very cold in London. So that is something that I'm adjusting as well. But by the grace of God, I'm doing well, you know, taking it one step at a time and learning as well. So yeah. And you, Simon?
Yeah, well, I can understand where you're coming from. You're initially from these islands here, or
Yeah.
this area of this part of the world. So I'd say my experience getting into a new community was different, because in Antigua, the people here, they're quite nice when they know you. That's how I've seen it. When they know you, they're quite nice, but when they don't know you, they have a the people here like being in their own bubble, you know. They like being in their own space, and I guess that's where they're comfortable, and that's one of the culture shocks that I had to face. Otherwise, the only other significant challenge that I've had is the hills. This place is so hilly, and the roads are twists and turns. It's not very easy to move around. But other than that, I think everything's going well so far. It's a very nice place to live, very good views, very good places, very good people if they know you, of course. Very good people, and it's an enjoyable experience. And I still have a long way to go, but I'm enjoying it so far.
That's great to know.
We hope you continue to adapt and serve in your context. I wanted to mention for any listeners who are a little confused when we talked about the Advance. This is the fundraising site that the General Board of Global Ministries, as well as higher education ministries of the United Methodist Church, use for their fundraising, for missionaries, for all types of projects. So you can go to umcmission.org, and there's a big button that says Give Now, and then one of those options will be Find a Missionary. And so you can look for any of us here. We're all missionaries. And with the advanced number is one way to search for people, or you can search by name in the search bar there. And that really helps all missionaries all over the world. Supporting one is really supporting all of us in a big way. And I want to highlight that something that I think is always really beautiful about missionary service in the United Methodist tradition is that we're all so different. A lot of people still have this idea that missionaries are white people from the US and Europe who look very much like I do, but probably a few years older, going to serve in the global south and kind of imposing their culture or their way of life. And that has been the history for a long time. I don't think we should ignore that. But we see there are a lot of new ways to do mission. And young people from all over the world who are serving in places all over the world. And I think that's beautiful, and that's something that people don't necessarily recognize, but it's part of seeing that diversity and seeing God in diversity, and the communities that you're all serving can witness that, and they see that love coming from someone who they never would have met before. And so congratulations on taking this big step in leaving your homes and in serving in mission. It's not easy, and you're going through the adjustments, but you're also really impacting lives of young people, like Sunshine was talking about. They see that dedication and that love, and that's how they kind of see see that light too. So I think we'll take a little break and go for a song to get some of that Caribbean style music, that vibe going
Yeah.
that you miss so much now that you're not in the islands. We'll listen to I've Got My Mind Made Up, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Open Space Conversations. And we are so excited to know more about each other's work as missionaries. So now it's sunshine time to go with the interview. So go ahead, Tamira.
Okay, thank you guys. So Simon, since we've been talking about the challenges that we have been facing, what challenges have you faced in your work or environment so far?
Well, I'd say one of the main challenges I've faced in my work is finding a sustaining and engaged target audience here in Antigua and Barbuda, especially among young people. In many cases, young people tend to isolate themselves or remain within small social circles, which makes outreach participation and consistent engagement more difficult, you know. This can be influenced probably by social media habits, personal pressures, limited opportunities, or simply a lack of accessible platforms to that truly speak to their interests and realities. Another significant challenge is limited communication and connectivity among the islands here in the Caribbean. There isn't always a strong or consistent communication channel linking youth initiatives, church programs, and community efforts across different islands. You know, this makes collaboration, information sharing, and regional engagement quite difficult and more complex. However, I'm working hand in hand with the God Center and the MCCA here and other partners to strengthen communication networks, improve digital outreach, and create platforms that encourage connection, participation, and dialogue. The goal is to expand outreach, build stronger inter-island collaboration, and ultimately engage larger and more diverse audiences in meaningful and impactful ways.
That's nice, Simon. Hearing your challenges and how you're going to go about, through those challenges to achieve something is amazing to hear. My other question is, in your experience so far, what are the biggest issues you see that young people are facing today in your country that you're serving?
In my experience here in Antigua and Barbuda, young people are facing a combination of social, economic, emotional, and spiritual challenges. One of the biggest issues is limited access to opportunities, particularly skills training, employment, and long term career development. This often leaves many young people feeling uncertain about their future. Um, Another major concern is mental and emotional well being. Young people are under increasing pressure from academics, family responsibilities, social media, of course, and economic uncertainty. Yet many lack a safe space for guidance, mentorship, and emotional support. This is where the church plays a very important role, you know, through youth ministries, mentorship programs, counseling, and community outreach. The church provides spiritual grounding, moral guidance, and a sense of belonging, like the community that you had mentioned earlier. Through the work of the God Center and the Methodist Church in the Caribbean and the Americas, we're working to address these challenges holistically, combining faith-based support, educational skills development, psychosocial care, and community engagement, so young people can grow with confidence, resilience, and purpose. Yeah.
That those are some things that young adults do face, and it's sometimes challenging for them to like know how to deal with those challenges. And I like that you mentioned some points that you guys are doing when it comes to like working to those challenges and those issues that young adults are facing. And my next question is, what role does faith, community, or mentorship play in empowering young people to create a change?
So I'll break it down in each part. You said faith, community, and mentorship. These play a critical role in empowering young people to create meaningful change. Faith provides a strong moral foundation, purpose, and hope, especially in times of uncertainty. So, through the church, young people can find spiritual grounding, guidance, and values that help shape their character, decision making, and sense of responsibility toward others. The second is the community. So, community offers belonging and identity. When young people feel accepted and supported and valued, they gain confidence and the courage to step forward, express themselves, and take leadership roles. The church and the community spaces become safe environments where young people can grow, ask questions, learn from their mistakes, and develop resilience. I'd say you're a very good example of that because of the fact that your community helped you feel comfortable enough to come out and speak about how much you love the young children, the young people, and it's helped you pursue your goal and brought you to where you are today. So the last point was mentorship. Mentorship connects faith and community to real life direction. Through mentorship, young people receive guidance, encouragement, and practical support, helping them discover their strengths, build skills, and envision positive futures. At the God Center and within the MCCA, mentorship programs, youth engagement activities, and skills development initiatives are designed to nurture leadership, service, and social responsibility, empowering young people to become active agents of change within their communities. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I like that you mentioned all those, empowering points when it comes to young adults creating a change. And one question that I want to mention is, what advice you would give a young person who wants to advocate for change but doesn't know exactly where to start?
A young person who wants to advocate for change but does not know where to start, does not know where to start. I would tell them to start right where they are. You don't need big platforms, you don't need a title, you don't need a large following to begin advocating for change. Start by listening to the needs around you, understanding the challenges in your community where you are, and identifying the small ways you can make a difference. Change often begins with simple acts of service, kindness, and responsibility. You know, I would also encourage them to stay grounded in faith and community through the church, youth groups, and community organizations like the ones here, the God Center and the MCCA. Young people can find mentorship, guidance, and safe spaces to grow. Surrounding yourself with positive influences always helps to build confidence, clarity, and purpose. Finally, be patient and consistent. Advocacy is a journey, not a one-time action. Learn, grow, ask questions, and don't be afraid to make mistakes, because mistakes are what help you learn further and know what to do in times where you face the same kind of challenges. Every step forward, no matter how small, contributes to meaningful and lasting changes. Yeah.
I like that, Simon. I like that you mentioned don't be afraid to make mistakes, because mistakes makes you grow. So my final question is, since I've already said mine, how would people, our audience, will be able to support you in what you are doing?
Well, people can support what I'm doing by partnering with me through the Global Mission Fellows program. The GMF program directly supports my mission placement and the work I'm doing with the God Center and the MCCA. By supporting the program, you're helping to sustain the project's outreach initiatives and community engagement activities that I am a part of. So donations made using my advance number go toward supporting Mission Fellows program, which in turn enables me to continue serving effectively. In that way, your support helps both the program and my personal mission beyond financial contributions. Oh, yeah, beyond financial contributions, people can also support through prayer, encouragement, and sharing our work within their own networks. Like and share our Facebook page where it's called Supporting Global Mission Fellows 2025 to 2027, which we opened just recently, and we're trying to gain a following on it. And people following, engaging, and supporting our efforts through that group, seeing what other fellows are doing around the world, from Kenya to Togo to, everywhere around the world, to England where you are, also to the Caribbean where I am, and America, South America, everywhere. Supporting the program helps support us as Global Mission Fellows. So if you'd like to see everything that's going on, you can follow the Supporting Global Mission Fellows 2025 to 2027 cohort. It's there on Facebook. And if you'd directly like to support my mission, you can go to the Global Mission Fellows website by searching Global Mission Fellows or UMC on the internet, and then there's going to be an option that says Give Now, and then you go to Donate Now, and there's going to be an option where it says Find Missionaries, and you can use my advance number, which is 3022879 3022879. I'm gonna say that again, 3022879, if you'd like to support my specific mission here. And you can use the Global Mission Fellows website to support, and also to follow our page on Facebook. That's how you can support what I'm doing here in the Caribbean. Yeah.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Sunshine, for another great discussion. You were talking a lot about the challenges that you see young people facing in your new context, and this wanting to create change. And I think that's something we all see a need for change, and it's so hard to really take those first steps because it feels like, oh, it's too big. I'm just a young person. I don't know anything. I don't have the resources. I can't impact the world. And then on the other side, you have older generations who have kind of accepted the way that the world is and say, oh no, that's young people stuff. Young people will change. And so when you have, all of this, every generation saying they can't be the one to make a change, we continue to see injustice in the world, and things continue to not only stay the same but get worse. I think we're seeing a lot lately. And so I think what you mentioned about, even if they're small steps, even small acts can make a difference. Even just being with people as missionaries, sometimes you can't solve people's problems, but sitting with them while they're talking about them, going through that with them, is also a really big impact of just not feeling alone. Like you mentioned about mental health, just feeling like you're not alone in the world, that someone cares enough to leave their home country and sit with you and listen to your problems. Like, someone cares about you that much. And I think that's part of sharing that love of God in a way that, doesn't even need words sometimes. And it's more powerful than you think. So thank you for that insight. And I also want to thank all the people listening. We're really blown away by how many people are connecting to encuentroradio.com.co from the US, from Mexico, from Colombia, from Kenya and Zambia and Sierra Leone and Togo and Austria and just a whole list of countries. And I want to let you know that if you would like to send in a comment, a question, a greeting, and for this program or any program here on Encuentro Radio, we have a WhatsApp here for the Encuentro Radio station. So you can write to us on WhatsApp, +57, the Colombian International Code. So +57 302 521 2342. I'll say it again. +57 302 521 2342. And you can send us a message. There's also a WhatsApp channel for the radio station if you want to see announcements for every time we go live on a program. Keep in mind they're all in Spanish. This is kind of an exception, but if you can understand Spanish or you would like to practice your Spanish, welcome to Encuentro Radio. You can tune into all of our programs, and thank you so much for being here and for tuning in to all these different voices from around the world.
So I think we have time for one more song, right?
Yeah.
So please, Hannah.
Let's take it to Chandler Moore and Omema.
So as we come to an end to our very first Open Space Conversation program, we want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in today. So a special shout out to our friends from the fundraising committee of the 2025-2027 cohort, to my friends in El Salvador, and to all our families and friends who are listening along with us. So remember to join us again in 2 weeks, next Tuesday, right here on encuentroradio.com.co. So thank you and many blessings to you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.